I was sitting up straight when I started recording, and I've sunk, and I just keep letting myself go.
Riley comes in. Angel City on the board.
Corner kick presented by Cedar Sinai. Shifty work into the box. And across, it's in! Oh, it's LaRue! The dream returned!
Welcome to Casual FC, an Angel City preview pod. I'm your host, Mario Salazar, with my concert-going co-host, Angela Morales.
Hi, everybody. I'm alive.
Coming back at all hours of the morning. Who are you?
I went to see Motion City Soundtrack at the Nova. It was the 20th anniversary of their first album. I'm not going to miss that. They're my favorite.
I've listened to a couple of their albums over and over, especially early on, and yeah, they're great. Very much.
They're fun dudes.
Yeah, very much of our young adulthood. But beyond that,
Yeah.
Today, this is our match preview for the Houston Dash. The game will be on Saturday, June 15th. It'll be the Dash versus Angel City FC. They will be traveling to Shell Energy Stadium in muggy Houston, Texas. The game's going to start at 6:30 p.m. for us. It'll be on ionTV, and it'll also be streaming on the radio with Isaac and Tracy, the homies, on iHeartRadio. There's going to be an official watch party on Saturday, June 15th, which is going to be another speed friending event and party. So that's going to start at 5:30. The kickoff is at 6:30, and it's all going to happen at High Tops and Los Feliz on Vermont Avenue. Go check it out. We just learned that it's also going to be a giant Pride party because Pride Republic will be doing a watch party for the LAFC match beforehand, and then it kicks into the ACFC match after that. It's just going to be all types of fun, all types of
big gay soccer weekend. Woo!
Yeah, if you go enjoy the events, go enjoy everything that's going on and the speed friending, and let us know how it goes. We unfortunately have other things that preclude us from going to the watch party, which again suck, but we will be having our respective funds in other places. I will make it to a damn watch party. I'll also make it to a freaking tailgate at some point, at least one during this freaking season. Okay, that's my
Life
own rant.
has thrown us into a blender, both outside of the pod. We've been busy.
Yeah, life is hard. Adulting is hard, but
yes,
we are always here. We're always going to be here to preview our matches and support the team in good times and in bad. We have a great episode today. We actually are going to cut to a fun interview with Luke and Daisy from Pride Republic. They are a LGBTQ supporters group with the MLS side LAFC, yet they have tons of members that are also part of the ACFC community and really supporting the LGBTQ community within soccer itself. Thank you to Luke and Daisy, and enjoy our interview. Welcome, everybody, and we are now going to talk with Luke and Daisy from Pride Republic, and Daisy is also one of our very own Poderosas. Mm-hmm. They're both the host of LGBT FC, a podcast that supports the community and is all about... I feel very awkward talking about this, not being part of the community entirely, so I'm like tripping over my words a little. But please, welcome.
It's all good. We like to say the intersection of the LGBTQ community and the beautiful game.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome, ally Mario.
Yes. So welcome and happy Pride Month, everyone.
Thank you. Happy Pride.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your podcast and how you guys came to the sport. Did you play? Were just a fan? How did you come about?
Well, before we start, Luke and I always start the show by identifying ourselves and showcasing pronouns. So We're going to do that. My name is Daisy.
Go for it.
Go for
And
it.
my pronouns are she, her, ella, and I am queer.
My name's Luke. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am gay. And if anyone's familiar with the Kinsey scale, I'm a Kinsey 6. Nothing but blank stares. Google it.
I was going to say, I haven't looked at a Kinsey scale in a minute.
To join you, Mario, I am he, him, his, and I am an ally.
Yay, Mario. And I'm Angela. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm queer as well.
Excellent.
Yay, go team.
So to your question, LGBTFC is a podcast covering the intersection of the LGBTQ plus community and the beautiful game by telling people stories. We've had on nearly 100 guests over 55 episodes over the last couple years, including a current men's professional footballer, a retired men's professional footballer, actually 2 current men's professional footballers, one who identifies as gay, one who identifies as human. That was an interesting one. That one was actually Ilie Sanchez, who currently plays for the Los Angeles Football Club as a midfielder. And we've also had on lots and lots of supporters of the beautiful game from all around the world, actually, because we've had several episodes for when we had the Men's World Cup and several episodes when we had the Women's World Cup, where we had guests who were supporters of teams in other parts of the world. And just love being able to, bring on folks who identify as LGBTQ primarily. We have had a couple allies as well. Mario, we are friendly to allies. Nothing to be afraid of there. A funny one for me was we actually did in our first big allies episode. We scheduled weeks and weeks in advance in our first year. It ended up being the day after LAFC won the MLS Cup. Daisy remembers quite clearly. We were ragged, and we had on these 3 folks. We're all just because we had just won the MLS Cup, and so we're just completely had lost our minds and everything. But then we had all our allies on to talk about how much we love LAFC and also how much we love the LGBTQ plus community. So it's been a great experience so far. We love doing this. Daisy and I just have a great time together.
Love it. Thank you guys
Awesome.
so much for doing that and telling those stories. We forget our history. We forget those communal spaces that exist outside of our little bubble as humans. So I'm so excited to deep dive into your podcast. And I am a perpetual 1.2 to 1 point sped up podcast listener. So I'll hit you guys up when I catch up.
We have a few guests who speak at that speed to begin with. So good luck with some of those folks.
Yes. Those will be the 1.2. The slower ones will be the 1.5. So how did the 2 of you really get into soccer? Do you have playing history? Were you just fans? What's your soccer background?
I can start. So I grew up in a Mexican household here in Los Angeles. And so, of course, whenever the men's national team played, it seemed like the world just stopped for us. Our neighborhood was quiet. The traffic was completely still. And you can sometimes, depending on your cable, your TV, you could hear the next door neighbors if a goal was scored and your TV was just a little slow. It just became cheers and stuff.
Yeah.
That from just being a child, I remember that, watching the games with my mom. And then after, of course, playing soccer with our childhood friends and neighbors and all of that. And then in school, joining teams and all of that. And eventually I became a goalkeeper. So throughout high school, I played as goalkeeper. Just love the game. I would definitely say it's perhaps my first love ever. So it's been pretty amazing to now turn around and be able to be fully immersed in just being a supporter with LAFC, with Angel City. Of course, I'm an LA native. So for me, anything LA is super important. And to be able to then meet people like Luke, who I don't know if our worlds would have crossed had it not for Pride Republic and LAFC, it's super amazing. You just get to meet everyone from different walks of life. And we get to show up as ourselves. That's one of the things that we're constantly talking about, showing up as our authentic selves to the games and being proud, being loud, and then being able to participate in every way, because Luke and I often talk about how as members of the LGBTQ plus community, we are everywhere and we've been everywhere. It's just perhaps now we're getting a little more visibility, more acceptance. Of course, there's still challenges, but we continue to push that envelope of acceptance, of inclusion, and just being able to succeed together.
I love it.
Yeah, like a lot of what's not the established norm, we've all been here, right? Like gay, straight, Mexican, Latino, Salvadorian, European, like doesn't matter. We've all been here. It's never just been the one thing, right? So it's great to be able to see all of that kind of keep growing, and especially at the ACFC games, it's just like all the love and all the acceptance and all the kind of just like celebration of it all. I think I was messaging Luke and he was just like, oh yeah, the games are basically a pride match every day.
Yeah. My fiance Eva and I have invited many friends, and they're like, are they like, what is it like? And I'm like, do you want to go and have fun and feel safe to be out and have a good time and watch sports? And they're like, yes. I was like, do you also want to go to a party? And they're like, yes. I'm like, cool, we'll see you on Sunday, like we'll see you at BMO. So I just love the environment that we've created there.
How about you, Luke? How did you come to the game?
Well, it's not like I played my whole life or anything like that. I tried a little bit when I was a kid, and I was able to make the team when they didn't have cuts. And then when they did, I was cut. So I didn't get very far there. I will say I already knew at that point in my life as a little kid, like 5th or 6th grade, I already knew I was a little different. And team sports were a little bit of a struggle, because at the end of the game, everyone went back to the locker room, and that was a terrifying place for me. I know that there's a stereotype that gay men or gay kids want to be in the locker room because, that's somehow exciting for them. Just terrifying.
It's the most uncomfortable experience.
And so, yeah, it was a turnoff for me. And so I ended up really being drawn to more like individualized sports. So I did track and field. I did tennis when I was in high school. I did pretty well, actually, in tennis. And it was something, though, that I'd always still remained interested in. I grew up in the Midwest, and so it wasn't like there was a big soccer culture there. This is a number of years ago. Now Detroit has Detroit City FC, which I'm like, I wish that existed when I had been there. MLS was just getting going, but I would put on an MLS game, and all you would hear is like the one sad air horn in the corner of the stadium, right? The whole game. There's like 10 people here, and this is the saddest thing. Why would anyone want to watch this? Especially
the era.
Yes, especially after it was because the U.S. hosted the World Cup, which was like amazing. You've got tens of thousands of people at every one of these games, and then MLS comes along right after that. I was like, whoa, that's a shift. I didn't really get super into it, but then when I came to LA a number of years ago to date a guy who I'm now married to, it worked out. We actually just celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary.
Hey.
Yeah. When I came to
Congratulations.
I was like, oh, there's this soccer team. I want to go check it out. Early on, moving to LA, I got a couple friends together and we drove down to Carson for a game. That was the other team. Firstly, the traffic was so horrible just to get into the parking lot. We didn't get into the game till the 60th minute. And it was boring. It was boring. I was bored and I was annoyed, and I was like, I don't want to come back to this ever again. And then they had my phone, which they kept calling me, and I was like, you're boring. Move your stadium. And I went back a couple times. It was cool when they got Robbie Rogers. I was like, that's great. They had this openly gay men's footballer. That was a big deal. And then he left, and they're like, you want to come to our Pride night? We're giving away rainbow fanny packs or whatever. I'm like, cool. Wasn't my favorite thing. And then I saw this LAFC club get announced. I was like, that looks really cool. They want to be in the middle of LA, which is, oh, by the way, what AEG could have done a long time ago if they wanted, because there's a lot of money with that organization, but they decided not to because they're cheap. A couple years in on LAFC, along comes Angel City FC. So guess what? We have season tickets to both, and we go to a lot of games, as I'm sure some of y'all can relate to. There was just a couple weeks ago we had 4 days.
Mario.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. But I love it. Before I'd even been to a single LAFC game, I saw stuff about Pride Republic. And I was like, what is this? This looks so cool. And before I'd even been to BMO, then Bank of California, I went to a watch party with Pride Republic. And we watched LAFC. I think we beat Portland or tied Portland or something. And I was like, all right, this is fun. These are fun people. This is cool. I've never had this kind of experience before. And Daisy said something about, I don't know that I would have ever met Luke other than for something like this. I wouldn't have ever met Daisy if it weren't for something like this. I feel like I'm the one who's lucky here because I'm meeting some of the coolest freaking people. I'm being exposed in ways like we just did this. We just had Pride Night at BMO on June 1st for LAFC, which is not as redundant for LAFC, by the way, as it is for Angel City. And the tifo was Wanga. Now, I would not have told you a few months ago what Wanga meant. I would have been like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I learned, and I educated myself, and I educated my friends who were like, who was that? And I was like, let me tell you. And oh, by the way, Google. And I feel enriched and better off for having had that experience and for being able to be part of that, for getting to paint that tifo with other folks for whom this was an incredibly personal and important and life-changing experience, to know how meaningful it was for them and to be able to be a part of that and help make that possible for them and for others who maybe didn't even know that was going to happen and then got to go through and got to experience that at the stadium. What an incredible thing. I just feel incredibly fortunate to be able to be part of this.
And just to add, if
No.
y'all haven't seen the Juan Gabriel tifo Luke is talking about for LAFC, look it up. It was amazing. They pulled it up to Noah, which is an iconic song by this legend. For me, it just meant the world to be able to see this beautiful tifo come together, and then to just, wow, how far we've come. Growing up, I never disclosed that I was queer when I played sports because I thought it was going to hurt me. And to now be in this place where I'm like, I have an idea for a tifo. How about this for Pride? And having come together, that's been pretty amazing.
Yeah, when I was at that game when the tifo went up and I took a picture of it and sent it to Ange like right away, I was like, this is an awesome tifo. I love this.
Yeah, he gave me the rundown. What song was there? Who? I was like, wait, who is this? What is happening? This is beautiful.
The fireworks. I did also send her the laser light show at the end too, and I was like,
you know what got me in the feels?
Hope ACFC is going to step it up.
Fireworks show. What got me in the feels was the videos. I knew they were going to do a fireworks show. I was like, cool, whatever. That's really cool that the club wanted to do that for Pride Night. They actually had some interest in doing that last year and then couldn't make it happen. So it was like only the second time ever that they've had a fireworks show after an LAFC match in 6 years, right? So that's a big deal.
What were the videos?
It was videos of the Pride Republic members. Like, the video started, it was in black.
Oh, no.
It was in like black and it was in black.
I would have been bawling.
I'm telling you. It started out in black and white and it was like slow, people just kind of like appearing, coming in and out of frame. And then the music started, the fireworks started, it went into full color and people were chanting and cheering on the video. I was
my God.
I'm going to lose it. It was really special.
I've been decimated in the stands, just bawling.
I'll send you the video again and take a look because I noticed because I'm like right next to the really long screen on the south end. So I noticed that there was video going on. So I would pan over, record that until it went dark. And then when it was in my cinematographer mode and got the fireworks and the lasers and then the screen would come back on. And so I would pan over and then start recording the screen. So I got most of all of that.
I'll have to rewatch that video.
Yeah. It was great. Honestly, it was a great event. I feel like it was a great game. It was a great atmosphere. It was super fun. And like the Pride Republic was just being like front and center and present and being shouted out the entire time, which I was like, yes, like I've known about and I've followed Pride Republic on Instagram from the beginning, but I feel like this year was like the biggest year or like the biggest time that they've been represented.
That's really on the club too, by the way. Certainly Pride Republic has had a hand in this and we've really been asking.
That's fantastic.
But the club really stepped up and I don't know if maybe Angel City is showing them like how it's done. But it is nice to see LAFC really. MLS is weird. MLS, it's the clubs aren't individual. They're like all part of MLS or whatever. There's very little individuality for any particular club.
Yeah.
LAFC is one of just a couple in the entire league that has been very clear from the get-go, but especially in the last few years about the visibility and importance and value they place on the LGBTQ plus community as part of their supporters. And that is not a given, even in this league and other parts. We hear from folks in other cities who wear their clubs, their pride night is like diversity night or difference night.
Yeah.
Or,
They can't
and
say
like
it.
and like their pride scarf is like red, blue, and green and pink. And it's not quite a rainbow. It's like, what are you really doing here? And we've really been very fortunate, I think, and part of that we're in LA. So what are you gonna say? But at the same time, the club down the road, they're not nearly as clear about this as this club has been. LAFC have been very clear. And frankly, perhaps Angel City has shown them in some ways, because Angel City came in and they just said, we're going to center our LGBTQ community. That's our center. And LAFC have gotten closer to that. But they still, if you look at anything they post on social media, it is just a litany of remarks. The comments after that are just horrible. Even when MLS posted the Juan Gabriel tifo, the remarks that people made on that, it was just like, oh my gosh, y'all, take a deep breath and think twice before you say something like that, because that lives.
Being hateful is such hard work.
Right?
I joke with people that it's so much effort. You have to put so much time and so much energy, or you could just let people live and just go on your merry way, and you'll be way less stressed.
The easiest thing is to do.
And nothing will change for your life.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And I mean,
exactly.
Also, I remember this little, and it could have been complete BS, but there was this thing that said, it takes more muscles in your face to frown than to smile.
It's true.
So
it's true.
There you go.
I did not know that.
Yeah, anatomical Angela over here is, it's 80 some different muscles get triggered, or 5. How many wrinkles you want?
Yeah, just be happy. All right. And then, so something what we've asked every guest that we've had on is, everybody's coming, ACFC being so young and so new, everybody has that different memory or like thing that solidified soccer for you, or like, if you can name a favorite like women's soccer moment pre ACFC, and then something that has happened post now that the team is here. It could be anything on the field, off the field, community wise, just if you have a nice moment that you sticks out in your head.
I can go. For me, I was in high school when the US Women World Cup happened here and they played at the Rose Bowl. I watched from home, but I already love soccer. And of course, we just didn't have until very recently the same type of access to being able to just watch women play soccer, right? And for me, that was just such a memorable time because the US won, but even further to see women of color playing. So Brianna, goalie, was just amazing to have them come in and save such an important penalty. And the shootout was just such a big moment. I think as a goalie, you always think about how your position just impacts the game, right? You can definitely lose and it'll be terrible. Also, make it so that the other team just can't make it any further. And so that's also such a just electric feeling. And so for me, that's something that's just has always been an impactful moment in history for women. And then, of course, then jumping on to seeing where we are now with not just Angel City, but women playing soccer and visibly playing soccer around the world.
It's almost if you make it easier to watch, people watch it. Oh my gosh. There's so many viewership records being broken. And I saw something the other day on Twitter that they're like, wait, are these numbers happening now? And people are like, because we're on ESPN now. We're on CBS. We're on national TV now. We're not some janky Go 90 weird app that barely works. You have to hold your phone at a specific angle to try and get it. We have access, and it just makes it a lot easier. Shocking, surprisingly.
So true. I actually have a little bit of theory that is in general why soccer has become much more popular over the last 5-10 years is the access to it, people's ability to see it.
Absolutely.
You hear so many stories of soccer fans pre-MLS, post like early days MLS. You're still you might have friends that were fans of Man United or Juventus or something like that, but you're not getting or watching anything in real time. You're going in some weird soccer forum online, barely web 1.0 type thing, and trying to like scour information of what happened. It was not easily available, so it let you nerd out about it, but it also made it that much harder, right? And then now that it's everywhere, the NWSL has, although it's a fragmented right now of being able to see it, you can see it. That's the beauty of it. It's there. There's a fairly low barrier to entry to watch them. Like the ones on NWSL.com are free. Yes, there's a whole conversation about the fact that you have to have the technology to watch it in the first place, but the fact that becoming more easily accessible, and that's why records are being broken. That's why people are getting to see the product on the field. They're getting to see the excitement and getting to see the always been there, right? And I think that's the common thread of a lot of this is it's always been here. Like you guys just kept ignoring it, but it's there and it's real and you can't ignore it.
I think that's the undercurrent of Pride as a whole is that we've always been here. You're just now paying attention, doing whatever you're doing with those thoughts. Well, we just try to survive and enjoy our lives. But I'm so excited to see Pride Republic at more Angel City matches and integrate more with the Angel City community. Granted, Luke, you said it's redundant to have a Pride game at an Angel City match. Still, it's one of those monumental moments of sports in the summer, I think, at this point, our Pride nights. So how do you two see the interaction of like our community in soccer and now at match days for Angel City? And have you seen it change just in the short couple years we've been team, or how do you two see it as organizers within the community?
I think I say that going in an Angel City game, it's if having a Pride night's a little redundant, and that's mostly true. I don't mean that to be glib. I think that has been relatively true within the women's team that we have explored some on LGBT is when we talk with folks who are supporters in the women's game, it is such a universally, like in the Netherlands and England and Germany and Ireland and Australia, the women's game is it's just a different experience. It's a different vibe. It's a different thing. And it has been much more supportive and inclusive of the LGBTQ community for much, much longer. So I'm happy that's there. I'm happy that it exists. And if for no other reason, it is compelling and important that we have something like Angel City FC here in Los Angeles. I think that has been a real benefit to our communities that we have that access, like Daisy was talking about, being able to go and see professional women's footballers playing right in your hometown. And it's accessible and seeing the families that are there and kids who are getting to experience this for the first time. That was something that we didn't have available to us when we were kids. That's changing many people's lives for the better. I think something that I would just observe about the men's side, when we were at the Pride Parade a couple days ago, one of the guys who was one of our capos for our walking in the parade and chanting and singing the whole way, it was his second LA Pride, and his first one was last year. And he brought a buddy of his who's a capo, who for him, it was his first Pride ever. And this guy's like in his 50s. And he's, oh my gosh, this is so fun. This is so much fun. And after the parade, he was going up and hugging everyone, and he was having such a great time. And I think that there's something to be said for, in an environment where the men's game has this much, the machismo, or there's more sort of the either latent or obvious or blatant homophobia that happens, to have the visibility that we've been bringing to this with Pride Republic, to have people showing up and participating in the Pride Parade, to have the Pride Night. These are things that are changing hearts and minds, and far beyond anything that we necessarily know, right? I can relay a few stories, but there are a lot of folks that I'm not engaging with, that Daisy's not engaging with, that we don't know what they're going through, what's happening, and they're seeing something and experiencing something and learning something and growing as well. So I think there's a real value in that. That is a little harder to see where the women's game necessarily, because the women's game's already there. So we're pushing a little harder on the men's game to get there, because they're not. But I think there's some opportunity to shift it a little bit more than maybe there already is in the women's game, because it's so there. Like there's a U.S. women's 21-year-old women's midfielder who made some comment recently that was just like transphobic or whatever, and she's getting booed, right? Like people don't want her on the pitch.
Yeah.
Right?
I have big feelings about that whole situation.
Right? That wouldn't happen in the men's game, right? If someone did that in the men's game, people might even applaud that person, right? So there's work that has to happen to get people to understanding the value and the importance of the inclusivity of the LGBTQ plus community in the men's game, that has, for at least in most parts of the world in the women's game, it's already there. So we're really trying to elevate that. And even just having our tent with our rainbow flags at the LAFC tailgate every game, that's making that is making a visibility statement for folks who might otherwise never encounter queer people in their day-to-day.
Yeah, totally agree with Luke. For LAFC, because that's been the only MLS team that I've been connected to, it's incredible where we started. When LAFC first started, you had a homophobic chant being yelled out whenever the goalie kicked the ball, because that's I would say a very Mexican men's national team practice, right? And so we saw that when LAFC first started, and I would say that it was folks who are part of Pride Republic or connected to Pride Republic, our allies, our friends, our families, who made it a point to push back and end it. You don't hear that now. And when you do, the very few people that sometimes, especially for the bigger games where you have a lot of folks who are not regulars who come and join the North End, we're much quicker, we're much faster, and there's a lot more of us who will turn around and make it end right there and then, without the fear of violence, without the fear of some kind of aggression being thrown at you. That, to me, is such progress, because for a long time, that had been such a practice, and you still see it, unfortunately, with the Mexican men's national team, not the women's. That still happens when that lesson hasn't been learned there. But to Luke's point of why visibility matters is the fact that we have folks who will come to the tent, to the tailgates, who will come to us because they see us waving the flag or wearing our pride scarves, and will tell us like, hey, I saw you from across over there, and I feel this way, I'm this way, this is how I identify, or my child, my sister, my brother, all those things, right? And for me, when the statement for LAFC of standing shoulder to shoulder has always been a promise. If you really stand shoulder to shoulder, that means with all of us, right? And just have your back, I expect you to have my back, right? And just having those conversations has been pretty, sometimes scary to have those conversations with total strangers, but I can assure you I've never had an experience where after we're done talking, I thought, well, that was a waste of time or something like that. And of course, with Pride Republic out in the tailgate, it's pretty amazing to see the allies that come forward and say hi, even when oftentimes it happens from the team we're playing, who will come over and say, yo, we saw you. I say, hello, I'm queer, I'm this, I'm that. And so that's been pretty awesome to witness. And with Angel City, what has taught me, like, this is what's possible. I didn't know because LAFC came first. But now with Angel City from day one, it's just been incredible for many reasons. For me, Angel City is a dream come true because it was the first time that I got to experience watching women professionally play soccer. I had never had that opportunity growing up. But then to just see how queer it is and how accepting it is and inclusive it is, that's been just blew my mind. But when Angel City first started, for LAFC, we take a halftime picture for Pride. At the 7th minute, we all get together by one of the main entrances and we take this Pride picture, right? For Angel City, we try to redo that and soon realize that it was not even needed, right? We did it for visibility, but for Angel City, we're like, wow, it doesn't really matter because to me, every picture is so queer, so gay. Being the line for the bathroom, we could be getting a beer, whatever it is. It's just such an environment that's inclusive of the LGBTQ plus experience, identity. So we stopped doing it because every picture is just so queer. And so hoping that in the future, Luke, we can have that for LAFC and it's just bigger, better, more visible and inclusive. Just LAFC across all the men's games where it seems to be falling behind.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Do y'all have any more events for the month? What's coming up? I know you mentioned a
Let
watch
me tell
party
you
on
what's coming up.
Saturday. Tell us
Let me tell you
everything.
because it's actually
Get your calendars out,
it's
write
going to
stuff
be the
down.
most incredible LAFC Angel City FC mashup ever. Okay, get ready for this because it's happening on June 15th. LAFC kickoff against Orlando at 4:30 p.m. All right, City kickoff against Houston at 6:30 p.m. Just minutes after LAFC's matches.
Ooh.
Both of those matches will be playing at High Tops Los Feliz on Vermont in Los Feliz or Los Feliz, however you prefer to pronounce it. Not your choice. They'll be playing as part of a
Proper Spanish or LA
look,
Spanish?
as part of an afternoon of Pride watch parties. Okay. For the LAFC match, we're inviting all of the supporters groups. It's going to be posted on LAFC's official social media posts about this is the official Pride watch party. We want to pack that place. We're going to have drums going. And then once that game ends, we got Angel City FC with their Pride watch party, same location. Keep the party going, having a blast with all the LGBTQ plus and allied folks at High Tops Los Feliz, rocking it out for a few more hours. It's going to be 4 straight hours of queer soccer or football.
Love it. Love it. That's so
blast.
cool.
If you can make it up to High Top.
Yeah. Me and family time preclude me from going to a lot of watch parties. Like I've got birthdays after birthdays after birthdays right now every week.
Okay.
Yeah, this weekend, I think even are actually going to what's being called a quote big gay barbecue. It's be like 10 people. It's big enough. But it's at a friend of the podcast. Like we met this couple through them listening, and now we're like buddies and we're gonna go hang out, watch the game after the barbecue.
But for everybody else who wants to
Go to
be
High Tops.
biggest, gayest watch party possible, go to High Tops. You're just gonna have an amazing time.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be tons of giveaways between Angel City, LAFC, both promoting. There's going to be all kinds of
LAFC
swag.
are going to have their merch truck parked outside, and they're going to be bringing in their street team as well.
Whoa.
They're taking this seriously, and High Tops is super
That's
about
dope.
this. They're super excited.
It's doing a lot for Angel City and LAFC. They're on board, and it's dope.
All right. Before we sign off, I just wanted to be able to give you guys a chance to plug anything else you guys have been doing. Plug LGBTFC, or how do people find more about the SG, about Pride Republic, about the podcast, whatever you guys want
Well,
to
as
talk
the
about.
president of Pride Republic, I feel like I would be remiss not to plug all our socials. We're at LAFC Pride Repub Twitter. I won't call it. I'm going to dead name that thing just because Elon deserves it.
That's the one thing
There
I
you
will.
go. We're at LAFC Pride Republic on Instagram. LGBTFC is at LGBT_FC pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. And you can find me for at least my soccer social media stuff on Instagram and Threads at at LAFC.Luke. So feel free to follow, comment, whatever. I'm up for all of it. I love the beautiful game. I love the LGBTQ plus community. I love my husband. I love our dogs. I love our home. Happy to check in about anything.
And for our podcast, we're always looking to welcome supporters. You don't necessarily need to follow LAFC. We love to talk to members of the LGBTQ plus community and any intersection with the beautiful game, sports in general. So hit us up if you would like to be part of the podcast. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe we have an ally and also Angela to participate. That'll be amazing. But yeah, we're always looking, listen to us, share. You never know who it connects to.
Yeah, we are open to LGBTQ plus and allied supporters with Pride Republic and within the supporters culture for LAFC. We're not as active for Pride Republic with Angel City. Going back to the earlier point about TQ plus is very much integrated within all of the supporters groups basically for Angel City and the overall supporter culture. But we certainly have many members like Daisy, who's on our board, like Melissa, who's also on our board, and others who are very active and involved with Angel City. I might dare say maybe more active and involved with Angel City than LAFC. We love it, though. We just love being able to bring the LGBTQ plus community together around a beautiful game.
Absolutely. And you have to go where you're needed as well. We have such an integrated community with Angel City. So if it means that we're able to pause efforts there for a little bit and bring it over to the men's game and hopefully catch them up a little bit, then dope.
All about catching them up. Get with the times, y'all.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Thank you, Luke and Daisy, for joining us. And it's been amazing. Everyone, please go check out Pride Republic, whether you're an LAFC fan or not. I think having that group and be there for the representation, if you feel like you need it, right? Like you need that support group. Everybody needs to find their people and hit them up and find out what they're more about. So thank you for joining us, and we'll hope to see you at the next game.
Sounds great.
All right, I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Luke and Daisy from Pride Republic and LGBTFC Pod. I'm super pumped. We're already planning to do another crossover episode with them where we go on. I might drag Eva in for that one. She might not have a choice. But back to our regularly scheduled program, the Chaos Award. This one's a good one.
Yeah, this one was one that I saw yesterday. I saw the highlight yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, okay, forget whatever we had on the Chaos
no question.
Award. This is the Chaos Award."
So if you were within 10 feet of anything NWSL related, you most likely know that Sophia Smith wound up with a red card due to card accumulation in the game over the weekend.
In stoppage
time. Yes, within the last 2 minutes or minute of stoppage time, she had received a yellow card during the game, subbed out, chilling on the bench, and the ball rolls over. The video looks like she went to get the ball and it rolled under the seat. There's question. Did she just hide it?
She chipmunked that thing and hit it in the pocket. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So she received a second yellow card while on the bench. which resulted in a red, which results in a suspension.
So she will not be playing this next match.
Exactly. So the question is, was this shithousery and just shenanigans or unsportsmanlike behavior?
And just to clarify for people that might have heard that term for the first time or not quite sure what we mean by shithousery, in our Soccer 101, 102, 103 episodes, I don't know exactly which one, probably the second one. Shithousery is it's when the players start doing stuff to intentionally waste time, to intentionally get the edge on the other team. A lot of it will be like when the players take the ball down to the corner and hold it in the corner and just like battle off some people just to take some seconds off the clock. Same thing with this will actually get you a card though, but like when like you just intentionally kick the ball down the field or something, like just oops,
right.
Sorry. Or when the goalie, the ball is like right there, and then they decide to go around the goal to go get the other ball to reset the kick. So all of that goes under the umbrella of shithousery. Now the question is this considered shithousery? Shithousery is almost it's almost like the extra part of the sport. It's like if you can do it elegantly, there's an elegant way to do it.
Yes.
And this one was not. And so does that now become unsportsman behavior? Like they had the lead and she was doing this to waste time and to keep the lead. But like, I don't, to me, it was very much like a little brat move.
It's both. It's shithousery and it borders on unsportsmanlike behavior. Do I think it deserved a yellow? No.
Yes.
There was like a minute left in the game.
Yeah.
Was it consequential?
It doesn't. I guess to me, it's like it doesn't matter if it's consequential. It's like the other team had the momentum or wants to gain the momentum, and you're just like straight up.
That's fair.
You're completely hiding it, right? Like there's like a difference between holding the ball and pretending to be like, oh, it's our throw-in. No, oh, it's not our throw-in. It's our throw-in. There's a difference between that and her hiding it under the bench. But I don't know. And then it leaves that kind of unsportsmanlike. It's not as bad, but it's the English player who got suspended for stomping. She plays on Chelsea.
There's a few.
That got a red card for stomping. Oh yeah, Lauren James. Yes.
As soon as you said stomping, I was like, oh, the girl who steps on people?
Yeah. Ugh. And does it multiple times. Like she's gotten a card for it multiple times. Yeah. So
that's one of those things that's dangerous, and I don't understand why it's not a bigger deal.
Yeah. This wasn't dangerous, but
no.
Okay, tell us. I'll post the video. I'll post a little poll, shithousery or unsportsman behavior. You tell us which one. I'm going to go with unsportsman, like behavior. What are you going to go with?
I don't know. I literally think it is on the line.
Okay, then I'll throw a third. It's both.
It's immediately in the middle.
So with that being the crazy shenanigans that happened during this chaos week, like honestly, that's the thing that took the news cycle. Let's go for the roundabout scores for the week. And that is me. The roundabout scores for the weekend. Racing won over Houston 2-0. San Diego tied with Orlando. Chicago lost to Bay FC 2-1. Utah lost to the Spirit 0-1. And the Portland match that we were just talking about, Portland won 1-0 over North Carolina Courage, but some shithousery going on. And Kansas City Current beat Seattle 5-2, which brings us.
That game was wild, for the record.
I didn't get to see that one, and I saw the score, and I was like, damn, okay. That brings us to our match, which we'll go quickly through it because it's more of the same. More of the same.
All right. If you remember, we matched up against Gotham. We lost 2-1. Crystal Dunn scored. We scored. Clarice scored the silliest goal. Sid was the decoy. It was a happy accident. Who knows? But we scored in the 51st minute. And then for some reason, we left Rose Lavelle wide open, and then she scored 10 minutes later. It happened. I just...
So I listened
There's
to
10
first
to
half.
15 minutes a game
Uh-huh.
that we just forget that we have to do things.
Yeah. Yeah, I listened to the first half because I went for a morning run with the run club that I'm a part of. The meetup ended just about as the game started, since this was a morning brunch match. And as I was driving home, I was like listening to it. Isaac's doing an amazing job, getting some exciting moments at least over iHeart. Then I get home, I turn on the TV, and boom, Dunn scores. And I'm like, am I the bad luck? What's going on
I
here?
told you were.
I needed to turn off the TV.
He texted me. I turn on the TV. Immediately they score. And I said, turn it off.
And so, yeah, we'll talk about it when we're previewing the match. But it's a little bit more of the same that has been going on. Same things that we want to happen haven't happened yet. And so here we are with another loss.
Yeah. So we posted on Instagram our normal thoughts and feelings, but it was a give us your 2-1, 2 good, 1 bad.
Yeah, I really like the responses that we got last time.
Yeah. We didn't get so many this week, but that's okay. We got our old faithfuls here. We've got Max, who said the good thing was Lily Nabet, which I have other feelings about, which is interesting. I should message Max and see why. But the bad is the chemistry, which I agree with. Everything felt a little disjointed this weekend. I'm not sure if
that's what's been happening.
But like more, we didn't know where people were on the pitch. It was weird. Like it felt like they forgot who their teammates were. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're wearing the same color. Anyway, we've got Ethan, who said that turnovers were the issue. And he said turnovers, parentheses, not the croissant. So not Clarice. And parentheses. I almost said and croissant. I would love a croissant right now. He said not following through on the attack. And then turnovers. And then parentheses, another croissant emojis, this time to eat our feelings. I don't blame him. Yeah, we had a not great game of passing.
No. Not at all.
No. And when you're playing a team who just came out of international break practice, basically, Gotham, half the team are national team starters. Crystal Dunn, Tierna Davidson, Emily Sonnet, Rose Lavelle. Who am I missing? Oh, I'm thinking Midge, but Midge is got an SEI. But you have...
Did you Tierna Davidson?
Yeah, she scored a brace for Pride. Go Gays. Also said go Gays. Yeah, she did a great job. But yeah, it was a disjointed performance from Angel City. That's what it felt like. And then Jeff, he said the good, Le'Veon and Reed were really good today. The bad, Gotham's roster. 2 stacked. With a blowing smoke emoji. Which I agree with. They're getting healthier. They're getting stronger as a team. They're still very dangerous.
Yes. If you listened to our last episode where we were talking with Christian Polanco from the Cooligans.
No big deal.
No big deal. he did mention he essentially went through the entire team. But he did mention he's not too sure if we were going to win this one, if we as in Angel City, and he just didn't see like where that was going to come from. Us being homers were like, nah, that's okay. We agree, but we're still holding firm. And yeah, he was right. You know. Yeah. We're still keeping the faith here. That leads us into standings. Currently, we're in 12th place, and I insert expletive here.
Yeah.
Turnover.
Beep.
Yeah, just the top three have just run away with the league right now. Kansas City Current and Pride are both tied at 28 in first and second, and then the Spirit are right behind them at 27. But okay,
it's a lot of points.
Let's take a breather. In reality, we are only 6 points from the playoff line. Do I sound like a broken record talking about the playoff line? That's what we were talking about last year also, but that's all we need. Because once you get into playoffs, it's a whole different beast. We are only 6 points off from the playoff line. We still have a game in hand on 3 of the teams that are above us that would put us into the playoffs. So the main moral of the story here is we need to stop losing. We need every point we can get. There's only 3 teams above us going into the playoff line that we have a game up on, right? Everybody else we're going to be even on with them. So or they also have a game in hand. So like things can change. Things can shift. 6 points is only 2 games, but they need to start.
A lot of other
way.
stuff has to happen.
Yes. We're not quite at the halfway mark. That will be the next match is going to be the halfway mark. Basically, the doubleheader that we have coming after this game. We have 3 games in 7 days. We have Houston, then we're going to play Racing, and then we're going to play Bay FC. And Racing and Bay are the kind of like midpoint games. You know, one's on one half of the season, one's on the other half of the season. We're running out of time. Let's make this move. So come on, Becky. Come on, Tweed. Let's do this. We can do this. We believe still. Please.
Let me break out my undetweetable shirt.
Yes.
Let's go.
I'm just thinking more about the footy therapy shirt now on these days. And thank you, Kay, for buying a footy therapy shirt that you can buy yourself at shop.casualfc.com.
And speaking of, we haven't officially announced it yet, but we have a Pride mug.
Yes, we do. And it's a beautiful little Pride mug. And Kay ordered one. We ordered one. Kay should have gotten hers already.
She has hers. She texted me today. Yeah.
Nice.
It looks great.
So yeah, if you want to have a beautiful Pride mug with Casual FC on there, then go check out our website. And it's been put up. It was silently put up just because it's not necessarily a thing that we have to. It's not performative marketing. It's going to stay on there.
Yep.
No, it's going to be there forever. So it's not just a one
As
month
I
thing.
put it, your purchase goes to supporting podcasters in the LGBTQI plus community.
Yes.
Me.
And the allies.
Yep.
And
just you.
I also wanted to give a shout out to Katie. Katie messaged us. She is a Casual FC listener from Massachusetts.
Whoa.
Yeah. And she supported the pod in multiple ways. And she went to her first NWSL match. She went to the Gotham game. Let's yay for Katie. She made it to a game.
Thank you.
She made it to an ACFC game. Wish the result would have been better. Maybe the next time you get to see them, it'll be a better result. But congratulations on getting to your first in-person game. And
You
then
said
with
she's in
that,
Boston?
yeah, I think she's going to school out in Massachusetts right now.
She's still in Massachusetts in a year or two. Revamp Boston Breakers. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that team. It's going to be bonkers.
All right, so let's preview the next match, which we've got against the Houston Dash, again at Shell Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas.
All right.
Let's break it
The as I stated on New Friends podcast out of Houston, we talked to a couple Houston Dash fans about the matchup earlier tonight, and it's the Paige of it all always. I said there's a Paige Nielsen size hole on our back line and in our hearts, and I still stand by it. Defense is impeccable. They now have another new defender who's on par. I have so many talking points, but I've said them all already. I want us to complete in the final third. I want us to pass with intention, and I want us to just take it to the house. Just effing go.
Yes.
Do you remember the feeling, which will be 1 year ago on Monday, when Becky had the first game as interim head coach? And we all collectively as a fan base in BMO were like, who is this team?
Yeah.
What just happened? What's going on? I love it. Let's keep it going.
And
I want that.
And they kept it going. They kept it going for 11 matches.
Yes, I want that. Give me that. We have that.
She spoiled us. She spoiled us by giving us a glimpse of what we could have, and then
absolutely
somehow has taken it away. Although I do still believe that the tweed that we had last season is there, and the ideas are there. I don't know why, and I'm not savvy enough in tactics or front office dealings or anything like that to really understand, like, hey, is this a Becky Tweed issue? Is this a front office issue? Is this a sporting issue? I know that we just hired a sporting director,
a new technical director.
Yeah, something like that. Like, all of those positions are gobbledygook names to me. I don't understand what each person does, honestly, but I can't fully say that this is like a Becky Tweed thing, and I don't believe it is. But where is the Tweed strategy, the Tweedness of it all that we had from last year?
Yeah.
And we're coming up to, like you said, the kind of 1 year anniversary of just her taking over and kicking ass, taking names, just let's go. That's what we need. And
yeah,
I'm hoping that's coming sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. Same. So the interesting thing too about the Dash is they're in the middle of a big overhaul. New members of the front office, new members on the coaching staff, new players, new. And it's a little rocky for them. They also have 3 different players out on maternity leave. They've got somebody out with an SEI. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other people last week were out.
Oh, jeez. So they're playing triage lineup as much as we are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm looking at our availability report from last week, and it's like Kristen and June SEI situation, which update, everybody knows. I don't even know why I'm saying it. But if for some reason you live under a rock, Kristen Press was officially training with the team today. Not taking full contact. She did warm-ups. She did drills. But it's more than she's done in 760 days.
Yes.
So, welcome back, CP. I'm so proud of you.
Welcome back.
Yes. But we have a few other knocks. Sarah Gordon's almost back. I don't really know too much about Maggie Doherty Howard or Kay Joe or Cap, but we'll see.
I'm hoping we see Fair at some point. I know
Mhm.
one, she's really young, and two, she was playing for the Korean national team. So maybe after
Yeah.
the international break or the Olympics, or is Korea in the Olympics?
I don't know.
But either way, if she is or she isn't, either way, summer's here. Hopefully she gets to get some minutes on the pitch. Although at this point, without being with the team for so long, it's probably going to take a while for her to get integrated. But either way, I just want to see. One of the things we talked with the Dash podcast, and they're called Instant Ramen, and we will be linking to that episode too if you want to go watch it, was the idea that we do have a team that's stacked in a way where we do have a bench of starters. And what was beautiful about Tweed Ball last year was the fluidity that anytime we made a sub, it's like not skipping a beat. It just kept going.
Yeah.
This year has been like, subs have been really weird times. They're coming at weird points in the game. I just don't, and a lot of it, like we said, lineup triage. There's been injuries. There's been maybe people not 100%, whatever it may be. But yes, we need that. We need that kind of like swift, being able to take any player, swap them out, and still have class on the field. You've got a long list of Dash players that we need to keep an eye out.
I'm not going to talk about all of them because half of them are questionable whether or not they'll play. But just quickly for the Dash players, Courtney Peterson, she had a fantastic rookie season in Orlando a couple seasons ago. So a lot of times what happens with rookies is that they have this fantastic breakout season and then they chill. It's like they settle in and they're part of the system, so they're not as, oh my God, about everything. It wouldn't surprise me if she starts to pop off soon. And that's like across sport. Rookies, you have a rookie of the year season. Oh my God, it's the best player ever. And the next season, you're just normal. And then we've got Diana Ordonez, who we talked about the last game, who's just ridiculous. Michelle Lozzi, who's just so cool. This team is so good. Yuki Nagasato, they have so many good international players. And then Jane Campbell, who's national team keeper extraordinaire. There's a lot shifting positively for Houston. I just hope they can hold on to it. They've won the Shield twice. Or I don't know if they've won the Shield or playoffs. They've got 2 stars. I know that much.
That means playoffs.
Yeah.
They won.
I'm like, it's American soccer. I don't remember.
Unfortunately, the Shield doesn't give you a star. It doesn't give you really anything beyond the Shield.
Yeah.
Which I liked M. Wood's description of the cookie sheet. The cookie
plate.
platter.
Yeah. It's exactly what it was. But they have amazing players. I really wanted to talk about Cece Kaiser, but she's been out. So that's a bummer. But yeah, they could pop off at any point. Plus they have Paige. We are us.
Yes.
I'm just frustrated.
Okay, I know we're frustrated, but we're here to keep the positivity up. So
yes,
let's look at our players and who are we looking out for here.
I really want to talk about Maggie Doherty Howard, but she's hurt, so I want to give it a break. Given that I want to hype her up when we play, and I really want to see more of Kennedy Fuller.
Okay, so I want to keep the positivity up. I know we're in this kind of rut, and that just means we can just only go up, right?
Right.
If we keep losing, we're basically plateaued. We are where we are. No, I lied. We can fall 2 more spots, but still. Let's not think
We're
of
gonna
it that
pretend
way.
that this is it.
Yeah.
This is the bottom of
This-
the barrel.
Unfortunately, this was it like last year. Last year, this
I
would have been like bottom
know.
of the barrel.
I don't want to think about that. But
Okay,
we were
so we
there
only
too.
got and we were. And okay, so that's the bright side is we were there last year and we turned the ship. It can happen again. Looking forward, I think what we can say is let's see more of some of our young talent that really needs, I think, that time on the field.
Yeah.
Like we need Messiah Bright to be more than this late game sub. And I love Sid. She's doing amazing. And I know that it's basically Sid or Messiah, but you know what? We're at the bottom.
Try something.
Let's try something.
Yeah.
Try it. Give it 2 games. And the thing is, don't try it for a game because that's not going to be a good one. Is not a good indicator of anything. Give it a couple games. But let's see more of Messiah. Let's see more of Fuller. Curry's been killing it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's give them the room. Let's give them the run and let's see what happens. So I think really we're probably going to leave it at that, right? Like it's just, I want to say for us, talking points, players to watch, it's let's watch our young players and see what they can do. Let's give them what they need.
Yeah. I almost feel like we have a starting gate full of Kentucky Derby winning horses, and we open one gate at a time.
Yeah, there's never
And
been
then,
like
like,
a
maybe another one,
release
and
the
I'm like,
hounds
just-
moment.
Yeah, let them cook. Just go. See what happens.
Yeah.
Do something crazy. That's really what it is. I think I just want us to do something crazy.
At this point, why not? Right?
Move MA up. Let MA
Yeah.
play as a forward or an attacking mid. She'd probably love it.
Yeah.
Something.
I
don't
think
know.
should be solid. Just let's switch it up. And let's switch it up in a smart way, not in the way where it was like last year, like we had June playing in defense for some reason. Yeah, okay. There was a reason, but still. All right. With that being said, our history with Houston has been a fairly blah one.
Even?
I wouldn't even call it even. It's 3 draws. We have 1 win
Yeah.
and 1 loss against Houston with 3 draws. So
I do believe those 3 came season 1 and the earlier parts of season 2.
yeah. No. Well, and then that win came from, well, you know when. So,
Yep.
Yeah. All right, moving on. It's almost the midseason. Like I said, the next 2 matches essentially are the differentiators between first half and second half of the season. And we want to do a mid-season check-in. We had this on our list of episodes that we wanted to cover this year, not fully realizing that it would fall on the week that we have 3 matches, but we still want to do it and check in with everybody. So we need your help. What we did with the season recap episode last year is send us your DMs, send us your emails, or yet send us a voice message, record it on your phone and email it to us at casualfcpod@gmail.com. Give us your thoughts of how you feel the mid-season is going so far, if we don't want to be negative, where we think we could go, and maybe give us 1 or 2 points that you'd like to see.
I will say,
get tweaked.
if you send us something that's really mean, it's not making the cut. We don't do that here. Am I frustrated with the team? Am I stressed? Yes. But I still have so much hope.
Yeah. And then I think it'll also be fun to make this kind of like a mailbag episode too. So send us questions that you have for us. So honestly, just send us anything about how you want to check in mid-season, how the team's doing, what your hope is, where the heck is Casey Fair? We can't answer that one 100%. Hopefully we have some ideas or just questions for us. So we'd be happy to answer them all in. Send any comments or questions you have or voice messages by Monday the 17th, basically next Monday. Well, that's when we'll be recording a little mini episode and we'll be coming out during the week in between the 2 matches. and hopefully we have a fun one. Let's make it fun, everyone.
All right, everybody. And just as a reminder, game is on Saturday, June 15th. We're playing the Houston Dash in Houston at Shell Energy Stadium. Kickoff starts at 6:30 Pacific time, and the game will be streaming on Ion as part of the Saturday doubleheader and streaming on iHeartRadio. So listen to Isaac and Tracy if you can. Watch it on TV. Either way, you're in good hands. There will be a watch party sponsored by Angel City at High Tops in Los Feliz. They're doing speed friending again. Their party starts at 5:30. Again, kickoff is at 6:30, but you might want to get there early because right before that, LAFC is also sponsoring a watch party there for the men's game that kicks off at 4:30. Get there early, make a whole bunch of new friends,
It's just gonna
have
be
a great
fun
time.
Pride event basically, and
Pride Republic will be there. It's
go
gonna
celebrate Pride Month.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Hopefully we get the win. I hope LAFC and Angel City get the win, and it's just a freaking party.
Yeah.
If you
just
are
kicks everything
there
off for the rest of the night.
Tag us on Instagram. We won't be there, but we will repost it. Let us help you. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear some more, hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening. And you can check out casualfc.com for all the podcast links. Best way to support the pod is to engage. Share it, like it, leave us comments on posts or episodes, talk to us, hit us up on Instagram, all that good stuff. If you want to grab that new Pride mug that we talked about, go to shop.casualfc.com. We've got some other stuff in the works. We just want to make sure it's good before we post anything. But merch is always there. That Pride mug's not going anywhere. So aside from that, if you feel so inclined and you want to monetarily support the pod, you can do so by buying us a coffee. You can check out the link in all of our socials or go to buymeacoffee.com/casualfcpod. Follow us on social media at casualfcpod on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, and TikTok. Make sure you tell a friend, guys. The team needs all the luck we can send them. Tell everybody about the podcast. Tell everybody how great Angel City is. Tell everybody how much fun you have every time you go to a game. Just talk about the team. The more we talk about it, the better the team does. It's like Tinkerbell in Hook when she is not doing so hot. You gotta clap.
You gotta believe, you gotta clap.
Like, you believe it. You just gotta say it out loud.
Save Julia Roberts.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is a bit of a long episode, but if you hung in here thus far, we appreciate it more than you know. Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride, everyone.
Bye.